Hello to all. You're gonna want to stick around for this one. It's just a few minutes, but I think it's really crucial understanding about what's happening for the modern woman that is actually a challenge. And I call this piece this is psychology of independent women in our culture and the challenge that it brings. It's again kind of such a standard now. There's no thinking about as a woman, do you get to be a career woman? No, you're a career woman. Like the culture says prioritize your career first. Get strong, independent, powerful first, right? And then you maybe when you feel safe with that, that you can take care of yourself in the world, then maybe then you can have a relationship, maybe a marriage, maybe some children, right after the fact. Um, a lot of things go wrong with that, and again, it's counterintuitive. I get it, but give me a second to explain. By the way, why you should listen to me? I've been doing this work since 2006, understanding the dynamic between men and women, relationships, marriages, uh, long term. How do you build long term relationships? What makes people more fulfilled in relationships is the quality of the relationships. So this is a huge deal. And part of the cultural pace for you ladies is keeping you from those relationships that are so nourishing to your soul as a woman. So get this. And I wrote this article, so I'm going to read off of it because it's to the point, it's concrete, and it's well written. But you understand that career to be a career woman implies that you're masculine, and I don't mean to mean anything else by that. Masculine women are competing out there, fighting, pushing, earning, competing, right? Um, these are all masculine traits that men have to do something out there. So we both have masculine and feminine, but when a woman prioritizes her career over what's more feminine, which is intimacy, nurturing, and connection, she will become hyper masculine, and then stressed out as a result. And we know this, right? Masculine women are not exactly uh, a warm magnet, right? They tend to be off-putting. Just saying. I'm just explaining things that nobody talks about. So this, by the way, is a trauma response to a chaotic childhood. So what I'm saying here is that there's a reason why you're masculine if you're a woman. There's a reason why these things are difficult for you. Hold on one second. Uh, so there's a reason for all this. Um, and typically, here it goes, right? It's trauma response to a chaotic childhood where vulnerability, openness was met with abuse, neglect, or abandonment. Can you relate? You're not masculine because your childhood was lovely and warm and fuzzy, and you were allowed to be a girl, and you felt cherished and loved and worthy of love, right? It's typically no daddy, bad daddy, right? That kind of thing. So that's how it starts, and then it catapults you into being masculine in the world. Got it. So she becomes hyper independent, right? So she has to man up for herself as a little girl. Becomes hyper independent, has to make her own safety. She becomes hyper independent, masculine, and controlling to cope in life, suppressing her tender. So you stop feeling, you push your feelings down, you go up in your head because to be a woman is to be in your body, to be masculine is to be in your head. You go up in your head, in your head, push down all your feelings, and that's how you manage being strong, independent, and powerful. You see it? Again, I'm just sounding the alarm. I'm just telling you how these things work. Nobody talks about it. I'm not being an ass. I'm just trying to help you understand maybe why you feel so out of sorts, so exhausted, so tired, so unsatisfied, and why men don't come near you, or they only attract the boys, which is the men who want to work. They want you to work for them, as in like take care of them, baby them, right, cuddle them, make their lives more comfortable. So sorry. That's what happens though. If you understand the magnetism of everything in life, when you're masculine, you attract feminine men. So I'll explain here further. Suppressing your tender emotion and self vulnerabilities to feel safe in the world and protect yourself from the phantom pain that no longer exists. This is trauma response. The pain doesn't exist anymore. Right? It's a perception of things. So this type of woman will be at first very attracted to feminine men. Of course, the yin yang of our bodies, the yin yang of life. Everything is yin yang. If you're masculine, you attract feminine. You think that's man. No, right? This is circumstances in which you got caught up in. Um, Very attracted to feminine men because she has disconnected herself from her own essence and feminine qualities. You see it? So as the relationship progresses, she will see his feminine or femininity as unsafe. Of course, the guy who's weaker than you is unsafe. You're the man, and you quickly, right? So she will see his femininity as unsafe, just as she judged her own femininity as unsafe within herself in early life. You get it? Not your fault. But the feminine man you attract is really a mirror of the part of you that's missing that you rejected when you were a kid. This is what we all do, by the way. This is kind of normal in a trauma circumstance. Okay. So both the woman and the man are misaligned with their own authentic nature and essence. A feminine man is misaligned. A masculine woman is misaligned. This is not. We both have both within us, but it has to be more calibrated with your bodies. A man should be more masculine most of the time, and has to be able to touch his sensitivities, of course, his feminine side, some of the time. But he doesn't run his life through his feelings like a woman, and the other way around. When a woman runs her life through her masculine and neglects her feminine, we're inverted. We call that ego distonic. You're literally living inside out of the nature of your bodies. Now, what I'm saying here is if you fight nature, it'll cost you greatly. And that's what's happening out there. This is what I see every day with my clients. It's rather sad, but nobody can understand it. Nobody understands why it's so complicated, why it's so unsatisfying. So I'm just saying. So they are instead adopting incongruent traits to cope with unconscious childhood traumas. I just said it, ego dystonic. He's girly and she's masculine. The woman will resent the man for being passive and weak, and the man will resent the woman for being controlling and bossy. You see it? This is just what happens, right? So, what they don't realize is that they are judging the toxic version of feminine and masculine traits in each other. Do you get it? It's pretty deep. Uh, the healthy masculine is not controlling, but is structured and active, as in doers. Men are doers instinctively, naturally, organically, right? Our testosterone has us push out in the world, doing, active, not controlling, but it's structured. Uh, and the healthy feminine is not passive, but is flexible and fluid. Quite beautiful, right? See the yin yang. So, but if both of them can't heal, if they can heal their childhood pains doing the emotional work and energetic work together, they could actually begin balancing both their feminine and masculine qualities that they both possess naturally and in line with their own bodies and energies. I just said that. Deep, but it's simple. It's just what happens. We could decode the circumstances of your life by studying your past and your childhood and the formative years between 5 and 11. But it's always 5 years old. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 6, but it's typically always 5. The first injury, the first belief, and that got you as a woman not able to grow into your feminine, protect yourself, man up, go in the world fighting. And that, the problem with all that is it makes you, again, it's inside out from your bodies, ego dystonic, but it makes you unhappy, stressed out, disconnected, right? Um, Irritating to men. When you're masculine, you're irritating to the masculine essence of natural male. Like my masculinity is mine to own. When you're masculine, you're pushing against me. It's irritating to be in your presence. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. This is what happens. So masculine men don't like masculine women. Hunters don't date hunters, typically, right? But that's what it is. So masculine women will attract feminine men because They love you to work so hard and go get the promotion and go girl and make his life easier, more comfortable, right? Because he's a musician or so, and he's busy doing his music and spooning the dog when you're working 2 jobs, right? The shit show. Think of it. Look at your life. Look at your past. Look at all the relationships. Look where you came from. And by the way, that's the work that I do with my clients. We decode and dismantle all that crap from the past that is actually keeping you from being able to be present and live a life that's balanced in line with your bodies again. So to do all this actually makes for happier lives and for happier relationships. You have to recalibrate and line up with your bodies more af- after you've been derailed. I call that nature. The nature of your bodies kind of lines up with the nature of things going better, being more natural for you, easier to literally in line with who you are. So to stay masculine is unsustainable long term, ladies. To be stuck in that space, like I said, you'll end up alone, isolated, feeling like it's confusing because you're so capable that it should be attractive to somebody, right? But it's not because men don't care about your balls, men don't care about your money, men don't care about your career, your business, any. We don't care about that because we have our own. We pride ourselves in be able to take care of women. So the more capable you are, the more you attract the ones who aren't capable. So you stay in your masculine, it's hurtful, it's unsustainable, and unsustainable because you get exhausted, wiped out, tired, and then you get resentful that nobody's helping you. That's what happens, right? You get in fight or flight mode all day long, all week long, and for years and years and years. And what happens with this is not only is also it's confusing and exhausting, but it opens you up to all kinds of health problems. There's a lot of data on this. Go research. So strong, independent, and powerful. Yeah, something you might want to rethink a little bit, a lot, because you don't want to end up on the other side of midlife, because it's all in midlife that this kicks you in the head. Alone, no relationships, no children, money doesn't make you happy, you're exhausted, and then you get sick. It's not sexy. This is what happens when we go against nature. Everything that teaches nature, science, psychology. So that is the psychology of what I call the wounded feminine, which will attract the wounded masculine voice. Hope that helps. And again, let me know below what you think, how it sounds, what you're learning. I'm just trying to really kind of open the channels for people to understand these things because it's not obvious. It's a shit show for most of you, men and women, by the way, because you can't attract the men who will take care of you and actually allow you to slip into your feminine. It's a big problem, but it's energy. It's fixable. So comment below. Tell me I'm full of crap, but I'm not. Ask me questions. I'll answer them. I'm here to kind of bring uh, understanding in the dance of relationships. It's not that complicated, but if you're traumatized as a child, it's complicated. Anyway, come meet me on this side.